even before Mr. Lincoln issues his call for 75,000 militia to serve for 90 days to put down combinations too powerful for the ordinary judicial process, Governor Ramsey is going to meet with Secretary of War Simon Cameron. Simon Cameron, I'm glad none of his relatives are here, because he was a political hack and will be soon awarding contracts that will bring shoddy into our vocabulary as what it means today, and they will ship him off to the court of St. Petersburg to get rid of him as Secretary of War, but not this day. Because when Ramsey had known him back in Pennsylvania, and Ramsey is going to suggest that Minnesota stands ready to provide a regiment of 1,000 men. The Secretary is going to a meeting with the President, and he asked Ramsey to put down in writing what he's willing to do. This is on the 14th of April, and the President's proclamation will not be issued until the 15th. But Lieutenant Governor Ignatius Donnelly has received a telegram from Ramsey, and even before the news that the President is going for the 75,000 militia, Lieutenant Governor Ignatius Donnelly is enlisting 10 companies for what will be the 1st Minnesota. The governor's wife will deliver a speech out here to Willis Norman, who has been named colonel of the regiment, a Mexican War veteran, and present them their first flag. Well, the President is going to go further than his constitutional powers on his own initiative. Now, of course, we only go back to those days. Those were the days before air conditioning and Congress adjourned on the 4th day of March. They didn't stay in session all the time like they do now, which was good for the taxpayer. And they had gone home. So the President has no power to appropriate money, but he will call for, on the 3rd day of May, 43,000 men to serve for 3 years. And he's going to decide, without consulting these people who think they've enlisted for 90 days, that they're in the Army for 3 years. What would you think? You signed a contract, and your governor has just volunteered you, without asking you about it, to serve for 3 years. And there are going to be a number of lawsuits filed against him. Now, if you live through the war, or not seriously injured, you will be able to brag you are the first 3-year regiment of volunteers in the U.S. Volunteers. They will leave here with rather colorful uniforms. The Winona Company, will be dressed in the same type of gray that the rebels are at 1st Manassas. And the others will be wearing red shirts, the other 9 companies, and black hats, black coats, and black breeches. So there'll be a little problem at 1st Manassas. So he rides up to Colville and says, "What regiment is this?" And Colville will say, "The 1st Minnesota." Now, 3 companies of the 1st Minnesota are on skirmish duty. They are not with him. And as he points toward Trostle Thicket, He says, I want you to charge those flags. Colville, in some reports, isn't as eager as he would have you think in his memoir. And he's going to complain that you want me to do what? And Hancock says, I don't think you heard me right. I want you to charge those flags. So Colville will form his men up, just like you fellows did on that second day of July, 1988. Colville and his two other field grade officers will be mounted. The Alabamians have halted momentarily in the thicket and are reforming themselves for the final push that will take them to Cemetery Ridge and possession of Thomas's battery. They've already captured 2 batteries as they come forward. So the Minnesotans will load and cap their pieces. And as that wonderful monument shows, goes forward at a trot. They'll have to pass that fence 2/3 of the way. The Alabamians seem a little, they cannot really believe that a force of 1/5 their strength would charge them. And they hesitate too long forming up. And the Minnesotans will come to within about 40 yards of them, halt and fire a crashing volley into the Alabamians, and then charge them. It's root hog or die as they clash. The Alabamians have lost the momentum, and Colville's men fall back, him being wounded. Of the 262 men, 28 will not be casualties. This gives Hancock time to commit other men, as he will tell Senator Wilkinson later. He chose at the moment of the crisis to sacrifice the 1st Minnesota. How different it is of what happened when Silt Wilcox, in spite of his name, classical names, I love them, Cadmus Marcellus Wilcox. It ain't Tiffany Brittany Wilcox. And he'll send a call back for reinforcements from Anderson. Anderson will respond, persevere, things will get better. No action from D.H.A.P. Hill or Robert E. Lee. No orders from them. And the crisis will have been weathered. They've gained the necessary time to bring up other units. And although Wright's men will reach the wall, no one will be advancing to their support. And that, my friends, is a Confederate's true high water mark at Gettysburg. It is not the 3rd day. The 1st Minnesota will be back on the 3rd day.